Well, one of the things that was important with this facility and with any facility you have is to ensure that people can find you. You know, every location has its challenges in a metropolitan market, and so awnings, in our opinion, help set the building off, and we use them often as an icon. When, you know, coming down the road, a lot of times there's sign limitations and whatnot. Municipalities trying to clean up the look of the street and whatnot, so they're limiting signs. So we find that the awnings are a great way to brand your building. Instead of saying, hey, look for our sign, which may be small in some cases, you can say, hey, look for the large purple awnings out front, and the brightness of the color and the size will really stand out. We have an outdoor patio that we've actually created an indoor space with the help from AirGrove. We designed a facility that could function as a traditional outdoor patio 8 months out of the year, and those other 4 months or 5 months, well, here in Michigan sometimes it's 6 months, where the weather is inclement, you really don't have use of that space. So they came up with a system of panels made of the same awning material, very lightweight, aluminum frames and whatnot, that we could put up and take down very quickly, so that from day to day, as the weather changes, we don't miss opportunities to gain revenue from that space. So it's really created a year-round revenue producer for us. And in our business, you know, anytime you can add space, really any time of the year, it's a great thing. We added about 55 seats to the patio, so the patio was there. It was functioning as an outdoor patio. But again, those you know, June, July, August, beautiful, no problem. Sometimes if it rained and whatnot, so the awning would function as a canopy for that. But it didn't really cover those areas from really, you know, in our case, September, you know, right through till May. You know, you have days that go from 75 degrees to 40 degrees, and it allowed us really to, with a high degree of certainty, to book parties in that, you know, in that area. People looking for private areas in off seasons. So the people in February, you know, looking for a private area, it gave us that private function. And it's a beautiful thing when you're out there and you have the fireplace and we have a heat source, and you see the snow flying, and it looks like you're outside, but it's warm and you're comfortable. So it really gives you a great look. I think the use of the awnings, because of the flame retardantness and the metal structures, it's much easier to pass building codes than it is to build with traditional wood and or steel methods. For cost effectiveness, as well as the time to construct. It's much easier to go through the permit process of an awning structure than it is to go through a permanent building process, because in most municipalities they don't consider it a permanent building. And so they're a little bit more, less stringent than they would in a traditional building environment. So really, you know, from the turnaround time aspect, we were able to turn that room around in a much shorter period of time than we would if we chose traditional construction. Well, I think that in our environment, I think that it's about producing revenue and on a consistent basis, and by increasing capacity at times that you need it, knowing that you can count on it, as opposed to open air spaces and whatnot. You know, we found the use of awnings has been really a benefit to our business, and again, the payback on the construction cost of the awning for us was really a short time. It was 4 weeks. So I think from a cost-effective standpoint, from a timing standpoint, and from a cosmetic standpoint, you know, we found that the awnings were much better application for our use in a commercial environment than that of traditional construction.